Diving into Rudi Johnson's life, it's like you're looking at a story of resilience and raw power on the gridiron.
Absolutely. His journey from Petersburg, Virginia to the big NFL stage really stands out.
Right, exactly. He was born on October 1st, 1979, and even his name, Burudi, meaning cool in Swahili, already sets a vibe for someone who'd eventually come to define a bruising style on the field.
Yeah. And his middle name, Ali, definitely speaks to the admiration his family had, which adds a neat layer to his identity.
For sure. And his early football days with the Ettrick Trojans shows how early he got hooked, starting at just 6 years old, playing in that Chesterfield quarterback league.
It's pretty impressive when you think about it, starting young and growing into such a powerful running back.
Then, in high school at Thomasdale, he not only played offense, but also showed his defensive chops. And he even broke the school's rushing record, surpassing legends like his friend and mentor, Henry Jefferson. That record was a huge milestone.
I can imagine the buzz around him back then. That kind of performance is the stuff that builds a star's prologue, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And then we jump to college, where he played for Butler Community College in Kansas. There, he was a major force, leading the team to 2 national championships. And he even had that legendary game against Dixie College with 375 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. It's like he was destined to shine.
No doubt about that. Earning the NJCAA Player of the Year and later a spot in their Hall of Fame clearly shows his impact.
Exactly. And then came Auburn, where his stats are still talked about. With 324 rushing attempts for 1,567 yards, he set records and snagged awards like SEC Player of the Year. His performance there, in my opinion, solidified his potential for the NFL.
Right. His stint at Auburn was definitely a proving ground. But isn't it interesting how he managed to jump from college standout to a drafted NFL player, albeit in the later rounds?
Yes, he was drafted in the 4th round of the 2001 NFL draft by the Cincinnati Bengals, and that can be kind of surprising given his college accolades. But sometimes it's like the draft numbers don't capture your true potential.
True. And at the Bengals, his early seasons were mostly spent backing up Corey Dillon, right?
Yeah, for the first couple of years, he got very few chances. But in 2003, when Dillon was out with injuries, Rudi got his big break. Like, he completely stepped into the starting role with some seriously impressive games.
I remember reading about that game against the Houston Texans, where he rushed 43 times for 182 yards. That's no small feat.
Absolutely. And in another matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, he had 21 carries for 174 yards. He was, clearly proving he could handle the load when it really mattered. That transition from backup to star is not something every player can nail so effectively.
Totally. And it all peaked in 2004, when he became the full-time starter, setting a franchise record with 1,454 rushing yards and making the Pro Bowl that year.
Right? And not only did he rack up yards, but he also scored 12 touchdowns that season. I mean, it was his breakout, his moment of full recognition in the league.
And let's not forget his role in the 2005 season, when the Bengals finally made the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. His running game was pivotal in that turnaround.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool how he provided the kind of punishing runs needed to complement the passing game of Carson Palmer and the speed of Chad Johnson. No, not to be confused with his name, but the wide receiver.
Right, that balancing act on offense really showcased his gritty style. But here's, I do wonder about the later part of his career. His performance seemed to drop off in 2007, didn't it?
Yes, he did struggle a bit towards 2007. He missed multiple games due to injuries and managed only 497 yards that season. It was a clear sign that perhaps the physical toll was catching up with him.
And playing at that level for years really does burn you out, doesn't it? I mean, some might say his decline was almost inevitable given his bruising style. But did you feel that maybe the team could have managed his workload better?
That's a fair point. I think there's room for debate there. Some argue that if the Bengals had provided a bit more rest, maybe his late career numbers wouldn't have plummeted so much.
Yeah,
But,
I see that.
Injuries are just part of the game.
True, it's a tough balance. And then in 2008, when trade rumors swirled and he eventually ended up with the Detroit Lions on a one-year deal, it felt like the end of an era.
Exactly. His time with the Bengals ended on a sour note. The trade deal fell through. And after he accused a teammate over something like stolen luggage, yeah, that was an odd incident, the Lions became his final NFL destination.
And with the Lions, his production was modest, only about 237 rushing yards for the season. It was like the final chapter of a great career that had seen both glory and hardship.
Right. And then post-football, his legacy wasn't just his on-field performance. Remember the Rudi Johnson Foundation? It really focused on community development and self-reliance, and even supported bone marrow donor drives and local high school programs. Yep. It's something that added another dimension to his public life.
Absolutely, it showcased that he cared deeply about giving back. That's something that really resonates beyond the stats.
Without a doubt. But it's really tragic how his story ended. He died by suicide in 2025 at just 45 years old in Florida. It's a stark, sober reminder of how harsh life can be, even for those who have tasted success and adoration on the field.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It opens up a broader conversation about the mental and emotional pressures athletes face, even after achieving so much success.
For sure. It makes you wonder about the support systems in place for professional athletes once their playing days are over, and whether the physical toll on the body extends to the mind as well. It's a conversation that really deserves more attention.
Definitely. And while his statistics, 5,979 rushing yards, 49 touchdowns, over 1,500 attempts, speak volumes about his ability, they also hint at the relentless nature of his playing style.
Right? It's like you see those numbers and think about what it takes to repeatedly push your body to the limit, season after season.
And yet, despite the physical demands, his contributions extended into community spheres. His foundation even supported initiatives like the first football team for Clark Montessori High School in Cincinnati, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. It's a legacy that goes beyond just the game. It's the kind of impact that ripples into future generations, promoting self-sufficiency and opportunity, even when his career eventually wound down.
Still, I do think, respectfully, someone might argue that all the physical accolades and stats can sometimes overshadow the personal toll that the sport takes. What do you think about that balance?
That's a valid critique. And I mean, it's like you celebrate the giant moments, but then the human cost can sometimes get lost in the headlines. It makes you wonder if there's enough emphasis on the long-term well-being of players.
Exactly. It's a tough balance, isn't it? We admire the fierce competitor on the field, but we often forget the man behind that helmet, burdened by physical pain and sometimes mental health struggles.
Absolutely. And his story circles back to that. Rudi Johnson wasn't just a football star. He was a human being whose off-field challenges remind us of the fragility behind the toughness. It's a mix of celebration and cautionary note.
And in discussing it, we really get to appreciate both his undeniable contributions to the game and the importance of looking out for the mental and emotional aspects of athletes' lives.
Exactly. His legacy is a call for a broader conversation about health beyond the physical stats. It's about legacy, community impact, and the personal battles that remain unseen.
It really encapsulates the highs and lows of a professional sports career. The record-setting plays, the community outreach, and sadly the struggles later in life.
Right on. And that's what makes Rudi Johnson's story. It's like both inspiring and a reminder of life's complexities. It's something we can all learn from.
Very true. Thanks for this deep dive. It's definitely given me a lot to ponder about athletic legacies and the human stories behind the headlines.